Hello and welcome to this webinar on finding the right college and paying for it. My name is Dr. Charlotte Klaar, and I welcome you, and I'm glad you're spending a half hour with us. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to do a deep dive into the essential information you need to find the colleges that are best for you, getting accepted to them, and paying for your education. I know you're busy. And it's going to be tempting to multitask during this webinar, but please turn off your phone and devices, grab a notebook and a pen, and give yourself the next 30 minutes with your complete attention. I promise I'll make it worth every minute of your time. The material I'm about to give you would be valued at $195 at some of our seminars. First, I'd like to find out where you are in the college process. Please put your answers in the question box. Have you thought about what type of college or campus you would like? Have you started compiling a list of colleges? Have you visited colleges? Have you filled out an application? Have you written an essay? If you haven't made much progress yet, what's holding you back? Many families and students really don't know how to start the process. Starting in high school with courses you take and the activities you participate in. That's how you begin. And then there's the college application process, the essay, the FAFSA, applying for scholarships and grants, and numerous timelines and deadlines. It can be overwhelming. I have my associate Diane DeMarco with me today. Diane, what are some of the answers you're getting?
Some of the comments I'm getting, well, Brittany is asking, what about if she has already decided on a college she wants to attend?
Well, it depends, Brittany, on how you have gone about deciding on that college. Did you first take a look at your unweighted GPA and your test scores, and does that college represent a match for you? Do you fall within the middle 50% of their acceptance numbers? Do they offer the major that you're considering? Is it the kind of lifestyle you want to live? So if you've already decided, that that's the right college and it fits all those other parameters, then you're ahead of the game, but you still have to apply, and there's still a lot more to do.
That was the only question.
Okay, great. So we can go on to the next slide. Because I really want you to stay until the end to benefit from all of the valuable information I'm providing, we're going to give those who stay through the whole webinar a free copy of my report on how to face down your top college fears and help your students succeed. This report answers the top fears that most concern parents. If my student doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, how can he pick a major that will lead to a career? Will my daughter find a job in her field after graduation? Will she incur so much debt that she'll end up living at home again? It also includes a chart with average salaries by profession for graduates with a bachelor's degree. Why am I a college consultant? Because I've been in your shoes. When we were searching for colleges for my two daughters, I realized how complicated, stressful, and difficult the process can be. There were so many choices, and trying to match up a college with each daughter's interests, the majors available at each school, the type of campus, and trying to understand how the colleges would look at my kids and where they might be accepted, it was overwhelming. And then trying to compare costs of college, this college versus that one, and how much financial aid or scholarships they would provide. Wow. But after I figured out the process, my friends started asking me for help with their college-bound students. Soon I realized that many families could benefit from professional and knowledgeable guidance. So I took my business background with a Fortune 500 company, plus my experience as a teacher, and launched my business as an educational consultant. I've been a certified educational planner for more than 20 years now, and have guided hundreds of students to college success. I've also been very active in the college consulting industry to ensure that we maintain high standards and ethics. I was recently honored with the Stephen R. Antonoff Award for Professional Achievement. With more than 500 colleges, with more than 3,500 colleges nationwide and a four-year degree costing between $100,000 and $185,000, there's a lot at stake for parents and students. Or the student gets a degree but doesn't make enough to pay off his student loans along with his living expenses. I've heard heartbreaking stories of students who choose a college or a major that's a poor fit and end up dropping out, leaving themselves and their parents with crippling debt that will take years to pay off and with nothing to show for it. Or a student might transfer to a different college but lose some credits earned at the first college, prolonging both his college career and college expenses. At Klaar College Consulting, we help students and parents sort through the often overwhelming steps of the college application process and find the colleges that are the best fit academically, financially, and socially. We've guided hundreds of students to college success. So let's get started with leading you through the 5 main steps of the college admissions process. Finding the right college for you, how to visit that expensive college where your student may spend the next 4 years, writing that elusive but important essay, crafting your college application, and what you need to know about college financing. If you have questions along the way, please type them in the question box and we'll answer them later. So let's get started with finding the college that's the right fit for your student. Each of these colleges has a different focus, and it's good to know the difference between them when you start the college search. Two-year colleges, frequently referred to as community or junior colleges, can serve many purposes. They are often less costly than a 4-year institution and have much less stringent admission requirements. Some are even open admissions colleges, which means that they take anyone who applies. Starting your college degree at a 2-year institution can be a great way to save tens of thousands of dollars. Liberal arts colleges teach you how to think critically. So they are no longer simply consumers of abstract knowledge, but learn how to appropriately question the information presented to them. Generally, instructors are here because they want to teach undergraduate students and cater to their needs. Universities are big, cumbersome, and multifaceted institutions whose primary focus is research. They are not focused on undergraduate education. Undergraduates simply pay the bills. This can be a somewhat anonymous education unless your student is skilled at self-advocating and goes out of her way to get to know her professors in a positive way. Specialized mission colleges may be the single-sex or focused on the art in its various forms: visual arts, music, theater, dance. Technical schools teach a specific trade or skill and may not offer bachelor's degrees. Think about these points. Your unweighted GPA, along with your SAT or ACT scores, tell you which schools would be a good match for you. Every college is good for someone. It depends on the kind of lifestyle you're seeking. Most people only know the names of 25 to 50 colleges, but there are over 3,500 colleges in the United States alone. And remember, attending a certain college is less important than what you do when you get there. Match is about how you learn and how effectively you have demonstrated your learning. How many honors, IB, or AP classes have you taken? Have you earned a B or better in those classes? What are your scores on the AP exams you've taken? The true test of an AP class is that you have learned enough to get a 4 or a 5 on the AP exam. A target school is one that may accept your numbers. A likely school would be one that would be likely to accept your grades and test scores. A reach would be a stretch, given your grades. However, something like a great essay may get you accepted. More on that in a few minutes. Now let's consider fit. When a student goes to college, he's in class about 15 hours a week. For the rest of the time, he has to live there, and this can be the challenge. To find the right fit, it is important to consider the elements mentioned here: size, setting, distance from home, and all the other considerations. Size. Do you want to be a big fish in a little pond? Setting. How much of a city or rural kid are you? How far from home is comfortable for you? What kind of housing do you prefer? In looking at your numbers, try to look at your GPA through the eyes of an admissions counselor. Here's information I took from one of my students' transcripts. Overall, Ashley, as we'll call her, is doing okay. Not exceptionally well, but not bad either. There will be colleges who would be happy to take her. My analysis. At first glance, I can see that Ashley dropped her foreign language class after not doing well in it in 9th and 10th grade. In today's global economy, this is a red flag to colleges, many of whom will require her to take 2 years of foreign language when she gets there. Further, she dropped it in the 11th grade, but did not fill the slot with another core course. This is not good. 2, colleges look at trends in grades. Ashley did very well in 9th grade, earning a 3.54 GPA for the year. But her sophomore year was a bit of a disaster. She earned only a 2.58. What happened? If your high school ranks, what is your class rank? If you're in a high school like most in the US, where the average grade in a course is a B, and the bell curve has long since gone away, it won't matter that your unweighted GPA is a 3.5 if you're still at the bottom half of your class. Now let's discuss that all-important college application. There was a time when each college had its own application. This was also when most students applied to 4 to 6 colleges. Those days are sadly gone. In time, the Common Application was born to make it easier for students to apply to a group of colleges without filling out a lot of different applications. However, the Common Application caused a trend whereby students now apply to between 8 and 10 colleges. Some students simply throw in an application to any school that's been mentioned to them or about which they've heard. This has caused colleges to move from admissions to enrollment management. At one time, they knew that an application indicated serious interest in their school. That is no longer the case. This, coupled with the U.S. News and World Report college rankings that look at yield, which is how many accepted students attend, and selectivity, how many students do they turn down, generated the demonstrated interest part of the application process. Through the years, I've developed the organizational tools and structures to help my students get and stay organized. First, they're given a plastic box with an elastic closure that easily holds file folders. If you got one of these at the end of your student's freshman year of high school, you could fill it for 4 years. If you haven't begun to organize your information, start right away. Into the box, put the following folders. Personal information. In this folder go all report cards, career assessments, and things of that nature. Testing. Copies of your score reports from PSAT, ACT, PLAN, SAT, and whatever state testing program report you receive. The third folder is honors and awards. This folder is used to accommodate commendations from teachers, clippings about honor roll, and principals lists, other achievements like Boy or Girl Scout badges or awards. It is often surprising to see what fields students complete incorrectly when filling out an application. Make sure you know what year you began high school. And undecided is a major unless the college to whom you are applying does not have an undecided option. Make sure you check on this before completing the application. Then also financial information and parental information. The schools your parents attended, the dates and degrees they earned, the financial information that is asked for, and the jobs they currently hold. Those are all important, and I usually suggest that parents fill out those sections of the college application. Make sure the deadline you choose is the one you want. Here's a sampling of the kinds of deadlines you might see when you're doing your applications. For example, early decision is binding. If you apply to an early decision school and they accept you, you must attend. So make sure you have enough money to pay for their tuition. File the application at least a week or two prior to the deadline date. This avoids the issue of your printer not working, the website being down, the submission not going smoothly. I can assure you that the websites are slow or crash on the following dates: October 31st, November 14th, Thanksgiving weekend, and December 31st. I have seen it happen for many, many years. Writing the essay always seems to be a challenge for my students. The important thing to keep in mind is that unless the essay is poorly written or just dashed off at the last minute, it will not keep you out of college. However, a well-written essay with an interesting story may get you in. It does not have to be long, just good. You never know who will be reading your essay. All you know is that he or she works for the college or has been asked to help read applications in this busy time of year. This is not the place to discuss your breakup, your fight with your best friend, your political views, your sex life, or anything else you would not discuss in the polite company of those you don't know well. Think about what you want the college to know about you as an individual person, who you are, and how did you get to be who you are. Also, your essay should not include any information that's elsewhere on the application. We don't have time today to go into complete details on the essay writing formula I give my students. But here's an outline. Give your topic a great deal of thought. On your first draft or two, don't worry about style, spelling, or paragraphs. When you feel you actually have a workable draft, put it away for 24 hours. Not 24 days, 24 hours. When you go back to it, you'll see it with fresh eyes. Try not to be overcritical. Does it tell the story you wanted to tell? First, edit for redundancies. Then, edit for non-essential details. Use conversational language. Don't try to sound smart. You probably already sound smart just by the way you speak. And finally, check for spelling and grammar. All this should be done before you ask anyone else to read the essay. Now on to college visits. Can I just visit after I'm accepted? The short answer to that question is no. Let's assume the college is within a 4-hour drive and you have not visited. Even if you've done all the website stuff, the assumption is that you really are not terribly interested in their college. You can't get around this. Just plan on doing it. If you can't afford to visit, call the admissions office and ask if they have programs to get kids to campus who cannot afford to get there on their own. Many will be helpful. Once on campus, talk to as many people as you can. Students, professors, your tour guide, fellow visitors. Look beyond what you're shown. Colleges show you what they want you to see. Be sure to drive around the campus before or after your official tour to get a complete picture of its location. Attend a class in your major to see if it's interesting and what the instructor is like. Check out the various food options and eat in one of the cafeterias. Ask other students how they like the food. Remember, parents and students, you are going to be giving one of these schools a huge chunk of your hard-earned cash. And students, you'll be spending 4 years of your life here. So you want to get it right. On to financial aid. Families can get confused about where the money to pay for college can come from. A grant or scholarship is money that comes from the college and does not have to be paid back. Find out what scholarships are offered by each of the colleges to whom you apply and whether any are right for your student. Some of them you'll be considered for automatically, and others you'll have to file a separate application for. Check the website. Also determine which colleges require their own financial aid forms. Loans come in a variety of forms and do need to be paid back. Some of them need to be paid back beginning while you're in college. For loans and all financial aid, you need to fill out that dreaded free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA form. When answering the questions on the FAFSA, be sure to answer just what is asked. Don't offer more information than they request. Even if you don't think your student will qualify for student aid, you still need to fill this out, as many colleges use the information from Section G to distribute their own money. In addition, we never know when tragedy may strike and wipe out your home and other assets. Think Houston, Florida, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas this past year. Work study is a projected amount that your student can earn on campus. Gapping. For example, you need $20,000 to attend Reach for the Stars University. The financial aid package you're offered, including loans, work study, and scholarships, amounts to only $7,000. You then have a gap of $13,000. It's up to you to find that $13,000 or go elsewhere. This discrepancy is sometimes so drastic that we call it an admit-deny. This is another conundrum that I can help guide students and families through. If you don't get your FAFSA filed on October 1st, make sure that you are aware of the deadlines for your state and for all of the colleges to whom you're applying. Once the federal pot is empty, you can't get money regardless of how needy you are. Simply meeting this October 1st deadline may save you thousands of dollars. There are some myths in the financial aid process. One of them is that private schools are more expensive than in-state public colleges. Not always. We show parents how to compare the costs based on how much aid they get. If a college really wants your student, they're willing to pay more to get him, and that comes in the form of merit aid or grants or scholarships, which is free money. While it's often true that not everyone pays the posted sticker price, some do pay nearly that much. Some colleges also employ discounting and automatically give scholarships to all applicants to discount the price. Although that may make the student and family feel good, it's not truly a grant or financial aid. It's usually used by schools hoping to fill their seats. There are some colleges today who are starting to stop that and simply lowering their tuition. Okay, by now your head may be spinning, so let's get through some of our questions. Diane is helping with our webinar. Go ahead and read off some of those questions if you have any, Diane.
Brandon asked, I'm confused about the admissions deadline. What is the difference between priority and early action versus regular? Where do I find that information?
Okay, Brandon, you find that information on the college website. Some schools will have a regular decision deadline, which I think is self-explanatory. They may also have an early action deadline, which means that you get your application in by November 1st or November 15th. There's a couple of them this year were October 15th. And this college will let you know by mid-December or so that you are in or out, or that you've been deferred to the regular pool. Now, a priority deadline exists at not all schools, but some very large schools, like, for example, the University of Maryland, has a priority deadline. And since they have a modified rolling admission system from the beginning of their process, they expect that their class is going to be filled by that priority deadline. So if you have not gotten your application in by that date, and you wait until the regular decision deadline, there's not going to be any room for you, no matter how highly qualified you are. So if there's a priority deadline, I would suggest that you try to meet that deadline, as long as you can do it appropriately. But the college website is your source for that.
All right, that was the only question, Dr.
Okay. So let's recap. The college application process is complicated. You need to get clear on the best college for you, learn to view your grades like an admissions counselor, craft a mistakes-free application, write an essay that showcases your unique personality, make the most of your campus tour, conquer FAFSA and the intricacies of college financing, and meet all deadlines. Doing college right means helping your student understand him or herself so that he identifies his passions and selects a major and a school that fulfills them. This means you should also do a lot of research on different schools, not just the obvious ones. For example, I worked with a student who has Asperger's syndrome and is also a talented pianist. In high school, he'd been enrolled in a musical program at a respective college in the city where he lived. So naturally, he assumed he'd go to college there. His parents wanted him to think bigger and grow musically and personally, which is why they hired Klaar College Consulting. I worked with him on his applications and letters. He wrote them. I gave advice. I identified colleges that would be a good fit for him, would help him grow, and would likely give him scholarships. After an audition at a renowned school about 50 miles away, he was accepted and given a rather large scholarship. It's been a very rewarding experience for him, and the school specializes in offering supports for his work in his other classes. Finding the right college means a lot of research and organization. Can you do it yourself? Yes. But as we noted at the beginning, there's a lot at stake. With more than 3,500 colleges nationwide and tuition that costs $100,000 to $185,000 plus for a degree at a four-year institution, based on more than 20 years of experience guiding students through successful college experiences and touring many campuses, I've developed the College Smarts program to help guide you and your student through this process. We gave you a lot of useful information, but today we also have a special offer that will make the college process even easier. Klaar College Consulting has created the College Smarts program, a 5-module, step-by-step program to guide you through each of the 5 important steps in the college search, application, and financing process. Each module includes videos you can watch whenever it's convenient for you, plus valuable handouts. The first module is finding the college that's right for you. We'll give you the 10 questions you need to answer to organize your intentions, and an activity resume template to help you organize all of your high school activities. Plus, you'll receive more in-depth information on the different types of colleges, more detailed background information that helps you decide if a college is a good fit for you. We also give you a guide to recalculate your unweighted grades so you see how the admissions counselor will look at your transcript. Then we show you how to build your college list. The second learning module, How to Visit a College, gives you a step-by-step guide and lots of resources for planning your college visits. This includes how you'll travel, the number of colleges to visit in a day, all of the places you should visit on campus, how to dress, how and why to arrange for an interview, special interests, questions to ask yourself about each campus, and advice for parents. Hint, give your students some space. And we have handouts to recap the information and give you more inside tips and insights. Just remember, you'll spend the next 4 years and at least $100,000 at this institution. You want to make sure you give a solid impression of the school, its students, the school spirit, and the surroundings. This module gives you more details on how to get your essay out of your head and onto paper, who you should or should not take advice from, and how to write it in your own voice. Remember, a mediocre essay may not keep you out of a college, but an essay that shines may get you accepted to a school that might not otherwise have admitted you. The fourth learning module on crafting complete and accurate applications is packed with valuable information and guides. You'll receive a 6-point guide to completing the common application, checklists on how to gather and organize your information, what you should be collecting, details on organizing information on vital statistics, parents' information, and your activities from 9th grade onward, tips on getting the name of colleges correctly, how to get winning letters of recommendation, and much more, all together in one convenient place. This module does a deep dive into the different types of money you can get. More insights into the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, how your student's bank account can be held against her, the College Scholarship Service profile, more on gapping and avoiding overspending by having honest discussions with your student before applications are sent in, and financial aid myths. You'll also receive a college finance glossary and a fact sheet with lots of tips and sources of financial aid. Today's special introductory webinar offer will give you all 5 modules for $199. When you think about the huge expense of college education today, $100,000 to upwards of $200,000 for tuition, room and board, travel, expenses, books, isn't it worth $199 to get it right? You want the best for your upcoming college student, and College Smarts will give both parents and students a huge advantage in the process. You'll get the benefit of my 20+ years of experience and my expertise in guiding students to college success. And if you've watched the video and downloaded all of the handouts, but aren't satisfied with the program, we will refund your purchase price within 30 days. So you could go through the process alone and worry if your child is self-aware and going through the steps needed to identify her passions, Wonder if you're overlooking a college that would give your son a wonderful college experience? Worry whether or not your daughter's application was complete and accurate? Stress about a so-so essay that doesn't open any doors? Or overlooking a great college that wants your student and is willing to provide more grants? Or you could buy College Smarts and get all of the resources you need and access to the videos and downloadable resources to use at your leisure for an entire year. And as a bonus, when you buy all 5 modules, you can choose either 30 minutes of free consulting time via Zoom or Google Hangouts with me, or get my information pack guide on how to get college ready. Just email me or give me a call to let me know which bonus you'd like to receive after you've purchased the set. Are you ready to get started with giving your students the best possible college experience? Thank you so much for your time today and for staying until the end of the webinar. Click on the above link and download my report, Face Down Your Top 4 College Fears, and help your students succeed. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me via phone or my email or visit my website. Remember, we'll be sending you a recording of this webinar to watch again or to send to your friends. Good afternoon, and again, thank you for staying with us. Bye-bye.